Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Eagle Eye Podcast presented by Nissan. He's Reuben Frank. I'm Dave Zangaro. Rube, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I think this might be our fifth day in a row of the podcast, because we had the emergency pod. We had practice. I could be wrong, but I think, we're on a nice little streak here.
Yeah, we weren't planning on doing a pod on Thursday, but if you guys haven't seen that, we kind of broke down the Jahan Dotson trade. We talked to JP Finley from NBC down in Washington. So good stuff there. If you're expecting to come on here and hear us talk about Jahan Dotson, go listen to that podcast. There's a half hour of Jahan Dotson talk.
Yeah, and good stuff from JP. He's very insightful.
Yeah, he had a lot of good stuff. That was a fun, insightful interview. Today we have something fun. Since we're technically through training camp, we watched 16 practices and 2 preseason games so far. I have a bowl here. If you're watching on YouTube, you see it. It's a yellow bowl. It's a Tupperware bowl, good bowl. It's normally my salad bowl when I'm at home. Today, we're going to use it for a fun little game. I have cut up a roster. So every single name on the Eagles 90-man roster, aside from Jahan Dotson, is in this bowl.
Wait, you didn't put a Jahan Dotson in there?
I did not, because he was not on the roster. I didn't write this. I got the idea to cut up an existing roster, and he wasn't on there.
I think you need to put him in there.
You can go ahead and listen to the half-hour podcast from yesterday on Jahan.
You got to get Jahan Dotson in the Tupperware bowl, Dave.
Okay, so we have this Tupperware bowl. I'm going to shake it up. We're basically picking names out of a hat. We want to talk about the players on the roster. Now, this could go sideways real quick.
Block of light on my shirt. I don't think we've ever done like an 8 a.m. podcast before. So it's like,
yeah, we're getting this in before I got to go to the eye doctor. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this could go sideways real south when we get like Gottlieb, Ayedze, Kevin Folch, and Jason Poe in a row. But let's try this out. All right. We'll see. We pull first. The first little name here is
Kevin Folch.
Jordan Mailata.
Oh, okay. That's
a good one to start with.
Yeah.
What'd you see from 6'8" this camp?
Yeah, I thought he's been very good and just consistently good. We probably don't talk about him enough. We haven't really talked about him a whole lot this summer. You just kind of take for granted that you're going to put him out there at left tackle. He's going to, maybe this is the year he finally makes a Pro Bowl. I think he's good enough. I thought he could have made it last year. Half their O-line was on the Pro Bowl team, so it's kind of tough to put everybody on there. But I think he's at a great place in his career and expecting more big things from him.
Yeah, when we talked about Bryce Huff getting shut down by Lane Johnson, it's really like Jordan's a part of that, because it's been a quiet summer mostly for those top edge rushers. And it's not just because of Lane, it's Jordan on the other side. He's really good. And I don't know if like what the next level is for him, but he's close to it. I think he is close to being one of the top tackles in the league. I think him and Lane form the best tackle duo in the NFL. So, yeah, I'm expecting big things from him. I thought it was a good summer.
Back to the Tupperware, Dave.
You want to pick the next one?
Sure.
Oh, and Rube pulled out. Let's see here. Tanner McKee.
Interesting.
This is going way better than I thought.
Well, it's going to catch up to us at some point.
I know. I'll start with Tanner. Yeah, I thought his summer started off great. I think he had a few bumps in the road the last few days of practice, but overall, and I know there's been some disagreement about this, I think he was better than Kenny Pickett this summer. I think he looks like he's more promising. He's bigger, has a better arm. He seemed to have a better grasp of the offense. Everything was on time with Tanner this summer. I think he's got a bright future, and I don't know if that bright future means a starter in the league, but the more I watched of him this summer, the more I thought they would have been fine without that Kenny Pickett trade. He would have been a perfectly acceptable backup.
Yeah, he just processes things quicker than Kenny does, which is surprising because he's the younger guy, the less experienced guy. He struggled a little bit the last few days. It's almost like he had gotten to the point where, especially after that preseason game against the Patriots, you're like, wow, he really should be number 2. Maybe the defense just kind of like took that as a challenge and played better against him. But he did have a couple subpar practices after that. But I still think he's really good, and I think he's going to have a good long career.
Real quick on him, do you think there's any scenario where he becomes the backup this year?
Not unless Kenny plays and plays really poorly.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there.
I think Pickett goes in as 2.
Back to the Tupperware.
Only 88 to go, Dave.
Rookie safety Andre Sam.
I like Andre Sam.
And by the way, on the roster, they don't give him the apostrophe on the Andre. That's a mistake.
Bothers me. I know it bothers you. I thought he's a feisty kid. I wouldn't mind seeing him on the practice squad. He makes some plays. He's active. He's physical. I like him.
Yeah, of all the undrafted guys, he kind of popped the most to me.
I would agree.
And I wasn't expecting that. There were some other guys that were more kind of on the forefront of my mind, but I thought he looked solid. They don't have great safety depth. So I think like we'll see. Tristan McCullum might not be on the roster, so he could be a practice squad guy. But I think Andre Sam's done enough to earn one of those 16 jobs.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay. Back to the bowl. Next one. Oh, this is good. Anaya Smith. I'll let you start there.
Came on finally the last maybe week or so. I think it kind of started with that 2-point conversion. Maybe gave him a little confidence. And I think you brought up the point that maybe that was the intent of that play. Let's just try to get him in game-winning. As a preseason game-winning 2-point conversion. He had a catch on, gosh, what day is today? I have no idea. Today's Friday, so the last practice was Wednesday. He had a catch Wednesday that was really impressive, going from the middle of the field to the right, fingertip, lunging, good coverage. I thought that was his best play of the summer. So we started to see some positives. He's not going to make the roster, but I
don't know about that.
I don't think he will. You think he's going to be on the 53?
He's a 5th-round pick.
Yeah.
I wouldn't discount him being on the roster.
Yeah, maybe 5th-round pick. He would get through. He would get through waivers. We'll see. I don't think I have him. I think he was the last guy I cut on my 53. But at least we saw some good things, and you feel better about where he is now.
Yeah, and look, we were trying. You don't want to kill a kid when he's really. He was sinking. I mean, he was kind of drowning early on in camp. It was bad. It was like I do these stock up, stock downs, and he was in the stock down the first few times. Like there was no way around it. He was really struggling. He was dropping passes. He looked like he was kind of running in quicksand at times. The game was too big.
Stock down now, just so you can put him in stock up.
Yeah, well, I started doing it after the games, but like he just looked like he was kind of like in quicksand. Everything was moving too fast for him. Even like on punt returns, he didn't look explosive, couldn't catch the ball cleanly. Like there was nothing he was doing well early in camp. So I want to like let everyone know how bad it was early, but then give him credit for bringing it around and showing something late in camp. Because I was really excited. If people remember back from the draft shows, I was really excited about Anaya Smith because I saw him at A&M and I thought he has some traits that could really help this team. And we didn't see it the first few weeks of camp.
We're 9 minutes into this. We've done 3 guys.
We've done 4.
We've done 4 guys. We're gonna have to pick up the pace a little bit. We're gonna be here 3 hours. You're gonna miss your eye doctor appointment.
Gabe Hall.
I didn't see anything.
I expected to see more. There were a few flashes here and there. He was a guy that I thought, like, of the undrafted. We mentioned Andre Sam kind of not being on my radar as much. Gabe Hall was at the top of the list of the undrafted guys I was excited to see, and I thought it was an okay camp, but nothing spectacular.
Yeah, I just never saw anything that made me take notice.
Undrafted from Baylor, by the way. Next guy here is PJ Mustafer.
Yeah, I thought he really came on the last couple of weeks. Had a really, really active game against New England. If they want to keep a kind of prototypical backup nose, I guess he'd be the guy just because there isn't anyone else, but they don't really seem to be leaning that way. Borderline roster guy. We'll see. Booker came on late. But I like the way Mustafer played late. I was probably on the outside looking in.
Yeah, maybe 6'4", 318, big body. If you're right, if they want a true backup nose tackle, if they don't think Marlon Tuipulotu can do that, then maybe he has a chance. I thought he played well, but I don't think I have him on my roster. Practice squad?
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah. Next up, we have
Penn State kid. By the way, with Saquon and Dotson, this is the first time the Eagles have ever had 2 Penn State first-round picks on their roster at the same time. They've only had one in history, Kenny Jackson. So you may proceed now.
Darius Slay.
Slay had a really encouraging camp, very good summer. Like he said the other day, just no signs. You keep kind of looking for signs that he's slowing down, and I just didn't see any. He's been great.
I know. I keep waiting for it. I don't know. He played really well. He had the only pick on Jalen Hurts all summer. He baited him into the throw and celebrated after. He's been really good, and we've got a lot of questions about, should they move on? They have all these young corners. Is Slay holding these young corners back? I mean, he might be holding the young corners back, but he's better than them right now.
He is. He's their best corner.
All right, let's get back to this. Oh, what a perfect segue. Quinyon Mitchell.
Yeah, that's a good one. And Quinyon's learned so much from Slay. He's been fun to watch. He's very good. I think he's had an exceptional camp for a young corner, tough position, playing in the slot, which he didn't do in college. I've seen everything I need to see to feel like he's ready to go, and he should be on the field pretty much every down.
Yeah, it's just a matter of him getting actual game reps in the NFL now, and he's going to get them. So everything I thought about Quinyon Mitchell entering camp has been confirmed by what I've seen on the field.
Yeah, and he's going to get beat, and he'll be fine. He'll make a play in the next play.
Yeah. We both kind of agree he's starting the season outside and inside. He's doing both.
I would think.
Yeah, exciting first-round pick there. Next one up here is Kenny Pickett. I'll start off with Kenny Pickett. He does some good things. I think I've been harsh to Kenny Pickett, maybe because he's a first-round pick, maybe because the Eagles traded for him. He does do some good things. At times, he'll make some good throws. He has a little bit of athleticism. The two things he has over Tanner McKee is the athleticism and the experience. At times, I think his athleticism gets him in trouble because he has just enough to think he can make a play, but he can't. And there are times in practice, especially, you've stood next to me at some practices where I'm like, Kenny, throw the football. Kenny, throw the football. And he's kind of running around. And it's like a 10-second play. And you're like, nothing I'm seeing right now is realistic. I think he's been okay this summer. I think he's been their third best quarterback. Yeah,
I agree with everything you just said. He's been a disappointment to me. He has made a play here and there, but he just hasn't been what I expected.
Yeah. All right, next one here. Oh, fun one, Kobe Dean.
Yeah, should be starting. I mean, that's really my only comment on him. He's still running with the twos last we saw, and I think he should be starting. It's that simple.
This is his third training camp, by far the best. I think his first two training camps have been somewhat underwhelming.
Yeah.
Just a lack of big plays. And this year he made more big plays than any of the linebackers.
Yeah, it wasn't close. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's our best linebacker, and I'll be surprised if he's not starting September 6th.
Okay. Oh, you'll be surprised. I thought you were still waiting on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he will. I'll be disappointed.
Okay. Next one, Lakin Vakalahi. He's the international exemption from Australia.
Yeah, I'm surprised you put him in there since he's not on the 90-man roster. So
no, he's on the roster. He's an exempt player.
Yeah, but he's number 91 on a 90-man roster.
He's on their roster. I didn't write this.
He's not on the 90. Anyway, he's in over his head. He's not Jordan Mailata, but
you know what? I don't think he's in over his head.
I do.
I'll tell you what, I watched these one-on-ones and he's getting beat, but you expect him to get beat. He looks better than he should.
Well, the effort's there. Yeah.
No, I mean, like technique, he looks farther along than I would have expected.
Well, I wouldn't disagree with that, but I mean, he's not he's not Jordan Mailata. He's not a threat to make the roster.
No, certainly not. And he has.
I'll say he'll never play in the NFL.
Okay, and that's most likely true. But he'll be around for a while. The Eagles will have that international exemption on their practice squad.
As long as they want.
Yeah. And then he'll be a coach in a few years, like Matt Leo. Next one up is Moro Ojomo.
Yeah, I thought he had a good camp. He's active. He seems to know where to be. He makes some plays. I thought he's had a nice summer.
Good summer, good preseason too. Really flash. I think he's gonna get a nice little role in that rotation. I think he deserves it.
I do too. Yeah, I don't think it'll be
your 7th round pick. I mean, he's looking like a good 7th round pick.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly where he fits in that rotation, but I think he'll be on the field a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we know the 3 starters are Jalen Carter, Milton Williams, and Jordan Davis. He might be next.
He might be.
Yeah, I mean, Marlon Tuipulotu's fine, but it's a spot,
very different players. But yeah, Ojomo's.
It's a spot where maybe not great depth.
I would agree.
Next up, we have. Well, speaking of the devil, Jalen Carter.
Everything you hoped for. He's really had a monster summer, which we kind of expected. He had a monster September last year, so he seems to really enjoy playing for Vic. He seems to be in really good shape, and he seems to know that he's got to be more consistent throughout the season, and I think he will be. I
think he can be everything you thought he could be when they drafted him. And I think like all pro is on the table. I think the defensive player of the year conversation should be on the table. I think he's that talented. Now, can he put it all together for a full year? We'll see. But I think like 10 sacks for an interior pass rusher is very doable.
Pro Bowl this year?
Yeah, no, I think that's the floor. Yeah. If he stays healthy.
Yeah, I agree. He's gonna have a monster year.
And he better play that well. He's their most important defensive player.
He is.
Yeah. Okay. Oren Burks.
Yeah, Oren Burks missed almost all the camp. Saw him make a couple plays the other day when he came back. It might be too late for him, but considering their depth at that spot, maybe he makes it.
I don't know. It could come down to him or Ben Van Sumeren for the last spot, and I think they would go toward the younger player. It's a shame for Oren Burks because he had such a high variance of outcomes this training camp. He could have been a starter. He could have been off the team, and he never got to play.
Yeah, he missed just about the entire camp, all but 2 days maybe.
Day one he did he walked around, and then he came back for the last 2 or whatever.
After the way Ben Van Sumeren ran that tight end route the other day, I don't know how you cut him. And he's very good on special teams. If it came down to those two, I don't think Oren Burks has done enough to beat out Ben Van Sumeren.
Yeah, and it goes back to the question I asked Nick. They didn't really answer: is when you have veterans who have put stuff on tape at other places, how do you weigh that versus what you've seen or not seen this summer? Because Ben Van Sumeren is a good special teamer. Oren Burks has been a good special teamer his whole career.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a tough decision. I think you're right. I think if they have to pick one or the other, it's probably Van Sumeren. I hope we don't pick Van Sumeren right now. Eli Ricks.
You should have just said Ben Van Sumeren. Come on, Dave. Eli Ricks, again, they have so many good young corners. I thought he played well. I like Eli Ricks. He can play inside. He can play outside. He's got, long arms, great length. For an undrafted kid, he's a pretty polished cornerback. He's not as good as the other ones, but he's a nice player.
Yeah, I think he's more of an outside corner. They were using him inside last year because they needed to, but I've been impressed. He made some plays on the ball. He's the one guy maybe you can get something out of in a trade if you don't think he's going to make your roster, but I would try to keep him on the roster whatever you can do.
He's on my 53.
Yeah. You shouldn't get rid of good young corners. Exactly. You're going to need those guys at some point.
Right.
Linebacker Brandon Smith.
Penn State kid, right?
Another Penn State guy.
I didn't see a whole lot from him. I was told very early in camp they're really high on him, but I didn't see a lot of production.
I saw some good moments early. He's a big linebacker. Like he comes out and you're thinking like, oh, there's an edge rusher. He's just a bigger body than what we're used to seeing with like Nakobe and like a Trotter. Bigger guy. He was on the practice squad last year. Maybe that's where he ends up again. I don't think he's on the roster.
Right, agree.
Terrell Lewis.
Talk about a big guy.
Yeah, lanky, huh? Real long arms. Has that stab move.
Yeah. He's all right.
Of him and Julian Aquara, Terrell Lewis has more juice.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
He's had a good summer. Quietly, he's put together some really good rushes. He has those long arms. Sometimes he'll bat passes down. I like Terrell Lewis. I think he's an NFL player. I just don't know if they have a roster spot for him.
I know they probably don't have a roster spot for him, and I would keep him around if I could on the practice squad because, yeah, I'd like to see him a little bit. I wouldn't want to lose him.
Yeah, he's someone who might end up on a team somewhere.
Could.
Yeah, I think he can play. I think he'd be like a good deep rotational guy.
Yeah, no, I was impressed with him.
Terry Nickerson.
Yeah, he had that great pick six the other day, 97-yard return with 40 teammates escorting him into the end zone. It was a fun play. Very late in practice, I guess on Tuesday, maybe
Sunday.
I don't know. And then
Day 18.
Then we weren't allowed to talk to him after practice because why would the Eagles want us to talk about a guy who made a big play? Yeah, he doesn't. Again, another corner doesn't really fit in anywhere, but didn't have a bad summer.
Yeah, if they want to keep a few veterans on the practice squad, maybe. I talked to one of those 40 teammates who chased him into the end zone. My final surviving camp piece with Jalix Hunt is out, and he talked about just Perry Nickerson's a guy you don't think about very much, but he said anyone who plays football respects that guy, and he's gotten close with him, so that's why Jalix was front and center with that celebration. He had a water bottle. He was spraying him like it was champagne.
He's not a young kid. I mean, was he 29? He's bounced around.
Played for Vic last year.
Yeah, he's a guy you root for just because you love that story, that persistence and determination. And yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know how many 29-year-old guys you want to keep on the practice squad, but hey, they had a 40-year-old quarterback on there a few years ago.
I just pulled a good one.
What do you got?
QB1, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, just really, really, really fun, productive, efficient, consistent camp. I was blown away by the way he played.
Me too. Just like I think the word that kind of explains his summer is command. He just had command of this new offense. And it was a big question. It was maybe my biggest question leaving the spring as we got ready for training camp was what the heck is this offense going to look like? In the spring, it looked disjointed. It looked like everything he was doing was a half a second too late. He was really taking too long to process. He looked like a different guy in this offense in the summer. So I give him and Kellen Moore a ton of credit. They worked on this thing. He must have been in the books all summer, repping it with the actual players. He was with his receivers pretty much all summer. I was blown away by his summer.
Yeah, same. If he translates what he did in training camp to the regular season, he's gonna be in the MVP race again.
I agree. Oh. CJ Uzomah, he's gone. All right, next one.
So yeah, CJ Uzomah in there, but not Jahan Dotson. What did you call him yesterday? Jahan Johnson?
Started to call him Jahan Johnson. Different guy. Tyrion Davis-Price.
He showed me a little bit.
Me too.
Player than practice player.
Yeah, in the games he's flashed more. He had different body type than the other ones. I was a big Lou Nichols guy. I think Lou Nichols came back to earth a little bit. Tyrion Davis-Price had a better finish to camp.
Yeah.
Still not probably going to make the roster. We'll see. I mean, if they keep a fourth running back, I think he's in the mix, but I don't know if they need to keep a fourth.
They don't need to unless there's a running back that they love on special teams, which I'm not sure any of these guys would fit into that category.
Mm-hmm. Jake Elliott.
Yeah, another guy we never talk about, but he's as good as anybody, and they're lucky to have him.
Maybe he got a couple of those misses out of the way in the preseason.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, not either. He's really good. Tight end Armani Rogers.
Came in late, big dude. That's about all I got on Armani.
Where's 47?
Wears really nice clothes.
Kenneth Gainwell.
Really bad flugelhorn player. Oh, Kenny Gainwell. I like him more than you do. I think he's a really good player. Do a lot of things. I think he's in a good role, and I think he's going to play a part in this offense. I really do.
Yeah, no, I think he's going to have a role. I think we differ. You have a really good player. I have a good player. I think that's the difference in our evaluation of him. I just don't want to see a week one last year where it's just like the Kenny Gainwell show. And we won't. I mean, they have Saquon Barkley for that. But yeah, he'll be in the mix. I'm curious to see what the role looks like. I don't know if it'll be as defined as it's been in previous years, but I think he'll play.
Well, I think they're going to be really cautious about Saquon's touches. I mean, I don't think they're going to mothball him and he'll have one touch like DeAndre Swift had on opening day. But I don't know. I don't know if you want him over 22 touches. Maybe 17 carries, 5 catches type of spot. And we know Kellen Moore likes using multiple backs, so I think he will have a big season and go hit the free agent market at the end of the year.
And Kenny G will return some kickoffs.
Yeah.
I believe. Griffin Hebert.
Thought he caught the ball pretty well when he came in.
Yeah, he's fine. Mostly camp legs.
Camp legs. He runs good routes. He catches the ball. So you like having him at practice because he's going to be in the right place.
He's a wide receiver, we should mention.
Yeah, he is. No relation to Bobby Hebert.
Next one. Matt Hennessy.
I love the comments, by the way. I got to say, bravo to all the YouTube commentators. There's like every YouTube video, there's like every Eagle Eye on YouTube, there's like 20 people saying, Dave, you said Max. Dave, own up to it, which you already have, but it's pretty funny stuff. But yeah, disappointing summer for him. I thought he'd be backup center. Thought he'd have the team made when they signed him, but he's hurt now. He's got a back. He's limping around the sidelines. He's not going to be here much longer.
Yeah, it was really weird early in camp. I thought he actually was playing pretty well, and they were willing to put anyone else at right guard before him when they needed. There were injuries and they were moving guys around, and anyone else was getting in there before him.
Yeah, when they had Kevin Fulch in there at right guard, you knew.
No one even knows.
I'm sorry.
Britton Covey.
Britton Covey's had a good summer too. He's caught the ball well. He finally had a drop the other day. I think it was the first one he's had all year. Look, he's one of the best punt returners in the league, and I think he did enough to prove that. And I think he will have a small role on offense, maybe catch, 25 passes this year. And Kellen Moore seems to like him.
Yeah, if there's an injury, I think you feel better about him as a depth player as a receiver after this camp. I still don't know how much he's going to see the field if everyone stays healthy in front of him, but he's still their primary punt returner. I know they brought in all these other guys who have that ability, and Cooper DeJean's kind of at the top of the list, but Isaiah Rodgers and they're Anaya Smith they drafted, but Britton Covey's still their best option as a punt returner.
Yeah, he's very good at it.
Think he returns kicks? It seems like they like the running backs there, but I think he could do that.
Yeah, I'd be worried. I mean, I think that kick returns turn into almost like a violent play. I'm not sure you'd want Covey. I think it's been a more physical rep than they expected, than the league expected. I mean, guys are getting killed returning those kicks. So I'm not sure you want Covey in that role.
Maybe you don't want Kenny G in that role then.
I think you want a bigger guy, maybe Shipley.
Okay. Next one, Brett Toth.
Year number 6, and he's been other places. He's bounced around the roster in the practice squad. I think he started a game for the Panthers last year. I have him on my roster. He's got that versatility. He can play anywhere. Stout loves that. I think he's just one of Stout's projects who might be at the point now where he can be a viable player.
Yeah, we'll see. I think the roster math comes into play here. Do they need to keep him on the 53? Can they use that spot on someone else and then kind of keep him around? I don't know. He's been better this summer than I expected. When they started putting Brett Toth out there at center again, I was going, what in the world are you guys doing? Stop it with the Brett Toth. And he played really well.
Yeah.
All right, let's do one more and then we'll take a quick break. Austin Watkins, the receiver.
I don't have a whole lot to say about him. He caught a few passes.
Caught a few nice passes. Where's like bright lime green cleats some days at practice?
There you go.
All right, let's take a break and we'll get a bunch of other names on the other side. You're invited to the Birds Take Brazil pregame party. Meet NBC Sports Philadelphia experts for a live Q&A all about your Eagles. Celebrate with special guests and giveaways. We'll see you at the Birds Take Brazil pregame party September 6th, presented by Toyota, the official automotive partner of the NFL. Oh, this is going. Cooper DeJean.
Missed a lot of time. Has come back strong, I think. You could tell he put in the mental work while he was out. And I like where he is. He's an impressive young kid.
Yeah, if you're looking for a reason to watch that third preseason game on a Saturday afternoon, Cooper DeJean is reason number one.
He will play.
He will play. I think he's excited, man.
He hasn't played since November. Missed the end of last season.
Yeah. What do you think his role is as a rookie?
I think he'll back up the slot.
I think there's a chance eventually he plays.
Could be.
I think there's a chance that by the end of the season, their best combination could be Slay, Mitchell, and DeJean.
It's possible. Certainly possible. But I think we'll start out seeing Isaiah Rodgers in that outside role.
One of my favorites here, Patrick Johnson, edge rusher, year 4.
Thought he quietly had a good camp.
I don't know how quiet it was.
Yeah, maybe just because we don't talk about him, I guess that makes it quiet. But he obviously had that strip sack to end the Ravens game. I guess it was. He's consistently pressured well. He does well in one-on-ones. He's a solid guy. He's a good special teamer. He's one of those guys who you just don't really think about. And then you're doing your 53. You're like, I'm just going to keep him.
He earns his roster spot each year.
He does. He
has good summers, and then he doesn't really have the role when the season begins on defense, but he plays special teams and he does that really well. Kevin Folsch.
The tight end came in late, a New Jersey guy. I think Ramsey High School, North Jersey, Group 2. Are they Group 2, Dave?
I don't know that.
Come on, you're supposed to know this stuff. Caught a couple passes in that first game, but obviously not a roster spot for him.
Mm-hmm. Where's 43 if you're watching the preseason game on Saturday?
Roynell Young's old number.
Teron Jackson.
I didn't see a whole lot from Teron.
He had a nice day the last day of practice, actually.
Guy's been around a while. Don't think there's a spot for him.
Yeah. He always, it's funny, Patrick Johnson always gets lumped in with Teron Jackson because they were drafted in the same year, one round apart. Teron Jackson actually the round before him, the 6th round out of Coastal Carolina. I feel like that's unfair to Patrick Johnson, who's actually played in all these games the last 3 years. Teron Jackson's been mostly a practice squad guy that they call up here and there. Patrick Johnson's been a better pick.
Yeah, I guess their names are similar, so it's easy to confuse them.
I don't think people are confusing them. I think they're lumping them.
Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said confusing when it's actually lumping. Apologize.
Beef jerky.
Cam Jurgens. I saw everything I wanted to see from him as far as, taking the baton from Kelsey, and I think he can handle it. I worry about him physically. He's banged up a little right now.
He got hurt last year too as a right guard.
Yeah, I mean I just worry about him staying healthy.
So here's the thing. Jason Kelsey, we know, was always hurt. He was able to play through injuries, right? The style with which Jason played lent itself to him getting hurt because he was like a missile. They used him as a weapon. Did you ever wonder if another player can stand up being used in the same way who isn't Jason Kelsey?
Yeah, it's a fair question, and that's my biggest concern with Cam Jurgens. Look, he can handle when he's healthy, he's fine. He's a really good player. But yeah, some guys, and it's not really a matter of pain tolerance. Some guys are just built to be able to play with certain things, and some guys aren't. And it's not really a negative; it's just a reality. So that is a concern. I think it's a good concern.
I thought he had a nice summer though.
Yeah.
He showed you everything you wanted to see. I don't think they're not entering this season like, uh-oh, man, we're in trouble without Kelsey.
Yeah, and I think the mental part of it is just as big as the physical part of it when you're following a Hall of Famer, and he's been fine with that.
Wide receiver Joseph Ngata
had a nice game the other day. I always liked him. He's got that size, which you like. He showed some good hands, caught the ball really well in that preseason game last Thursday. If there was any chance he was going to make the team, it's gone with Jahan Johnson being acquired. But I would think he'd be out of practice squad, keep him around, knows the offense, and he's okay.
Yeah, I know you were high on him, maybe like pushing for that third job when they didn't have anybody else really. He just never did that.
No.
But he's been fine.
Yeah.
I don't think he has the explosive traits in his body that
he does not. Yeah.
That's how he would say that, that you would want from a guy that size.
Yeah.
Oh, good one, James Bradbury.
Yeah, he was better than I expected at safety. He still wasn't very good. He practiced well. I thought he had a tough game the other night in New England.
Was that game enough for you to be like, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's fair, but it was pretty bad. And there's a difference between practice and games. And when a guy gets exposed in the game, it's probably going to happen again. But, it's a position where they don't have a ton of depth, especially with Sidney Brown, being out indefinitely here. So I think there's a chance he makes the team. I think there's a better chance he doesn't.
Yeah, it's been something, kind of a weird situation all summer. We've been good to give him credit because he deserves it. He's worked hard. He's kind of put himself all into safety. I don't really see it.
I think Howie will trade him for like a conditional nothing. Just give him a chance somewhere else, maybe.
But if he goes somewhere else, is he a corner?
I think he might be a safety. I don't know. I don't know what he is.
Yeah. Not a good sign.
No.
Lane Johnson.
He had a monster summer. There's not much more you can say about Lane. He was as good as ever, and he wants that first-team All-Pro back, and I wouldn't bet against him.
Yeah, he said again at practice the other day he has another 2-3 years probably left in him. He said that after the season last year too. So he's still really, to me, he's one of the top 3 most important players on this team. I had him 2 in the off-season rankings, and I still think that's very accurate. And the other guy I just pulled, A.J. Brown.
There you go. Yeah, you had Jalen 1, Lane 2, A.J. 3, Jalen Carter 4. Is that right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Or no, I think I had my lot of 4 and Jalen 5.
Okay, so you went offense top 4. Interesting.
And yeah, you can argue offense top 5. I think I had Devontae just out of the top 5.
Yeah. But yeah, AJ was just magnificent this summer. I mean, I think I said this on the last pod or a couple pods ago. I mean, being able to stand there and watch him every day at practice is like, you just feel so blessed to have this job where you can stand there with a notebook watching A.J. Brown play football. I mean, he's magnificent. And his effort at practice, I mean, he has a game-like mentality at practice. And like all these guys practice hard and they play hard and all that. But I mean, AJ takes every rep like it's the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl, and it's his intensity, his determination. It is something else to watch. He's a special guy.
Yeah, he's great. Had a great summer.
That too.
EJ Jenkins.
Your guy. Is he your guy? I think he might be your guy.
Yeah, I've taken ownership of EJ Jenkins. I'm the EJ Jenkins guy. I think he's had a really nice summer. I think he's been the third best tight end at camp. Now, does he make the roster? I don't know. I don't know if they keep 3 on the initial 53, but man, he's had a really good summer. He catches everything. He's big. He's just it's hard to imagine this dude playing receiver like he did in college.
Yeah.
He's massive, and he's really improved as a blocker. I like him.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what they do with him. He's another bubble guy, but I like what I saw.
Had a great second preseason game.
And a really nice game in New England. Yeah. Showed up.
Oh, rookie, Will Shipley.
I like Will Shipley. Yeah, I think does a lot of things well. Very smart. He's got like a throwback player, like a guy who would have been playing back when I covered the team, back like in the like an Anthony.
Back when you covered the team, you don't anymore.
No, just back when I started, I guess. But yeah, I really like him, and very tough. You probably like him more than me as a runner. I really like him as a receiver. The effort is there as a blocker, picking up the blitz. Still a work in progress, but he's going to have a role, just like Gainwell. He'll have a role. I don't think it'll be a huge one, but I think it's a pretty solid pick.
We'll see. He's honestly, there were players in that area that I kind of liked more than Will Shipley when they drafted him, but yeah, I think he's had a nice summer and probably the backup running back next year.
I would think so.
All right.
Possibly, yeah.
Well, I'm thinking they're probably not going to pay Kenny Gainwell to stick around, but they might.
No, but they could draft a guy in the middle round. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. It's a little early to anoint him the number 2 in 2025, but we'll see.
I don't think it is.
Okay.
I'm giving that to Tanner McKee in 2026 already, so.
It's a little different.
Nick Gates, offensive lineman.
Nick Gates, he's okay. He's not bad. It's kind of hard to differentiate some of these guys, but I thought he was fine.
You're a veteran, plays kind of mean. I like a nasty streak of offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Played some guard. I also played some center in camp. They got him some center reps. He's I don't think he's on the roster, but he's one of those guys where if it comes out and he's on there, I wouldn't be completely shocked.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. And I wouldn't want to be the guy to tell him he didn't make it.
I know Ross Tucker on the first broadcast was marveling at it, but this dude does not wear anything on his hands or his arms during games. He's just like no wrist tape, no gloves, no nothing, just out there playing football.
Yeah, I like that.
I do too. Minimalist
O-lineman.
Good one here, Jordan Davis.
Yeah, we've talked so much about him, and so far so good, I guess is the only way to put it. Everything okay?
Almost dropped the bowl.
Oh no, don't drop the bowl.
I put my coffee cup down, I hit it, and it started to wobble, and I thought this game's almost over.
Yeah, I thought he was really good this summer, but again, we kind of expected that. It's a matter of what they get from him in December, so we'll see.
Yeah, I think it's enough talk about Jordan Davis in the summer. Yeah. Okay, Tyler Steen.
Haven't seen him in a while. It's been about 3 weeks now, I think, since he got hurt. We don't get real injury updates, so we don't know if it's could he go on IR? Possibly. We just don't know. But you kind of feel bad for the kid. He finally got that starting right guard job and gets hurt, loses the job, comes back not really healthy, aggravates the injury, or gets another injury. We don't know. And haven't seen him since. So I think he still plays in their future somehow, but you got to get him healthy.
Yeah, so he got hurt in the game, right? He got hurt again in the game, so he missed. That was the Patriots game. So he hasn't practiced now. Day 13, day 14, day 15, day 16. So he missed the last 4 days of practice. In between there, he did play. He was just the backup right guard.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a little disappointing. A third round pick in year 2. The right guard is no longer there. You've drafted him to play this position, and he doesn't get the job in either of the first 2 years of his career. That's disappointing.
It is. I mean, guys do get hurt, but I didn't really see enough to know how he was doing. I thought he was doing okay before he got hurt. It wasn't much.
They looked mighty eager to get Mekhi Becton in there.
They sure did. And we even kind of suspected, even before Steen got hurt, that Becton might end up at right guard. I mean, I think Stout just was really enamored of Becton as a guard. So,
Steen's going to be like, if Becton was going to have a big role as the sixth offensive lineman, that becomes Steen if he's healthy.
Yeah, I just don't know when he's going to be healthy. I mean, you can't put him on IR before cuts because then he's out for the year.
No, well, you have the two spots this year with the new rule. You can designate two guys for IR to return.
Okay, I did not know about that. I apologize. I should know the rules, Dave. But yeah, I don't know when he's going to be healthy, but I guess he'll be the backup right guard when he is.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what to expect from Becton either.
He's the only question mark you have left on offense.
Pretty much.
Marlon Tuipulotu.
He was okay. Big old interior lineman. They seem to like him.
Yeah, I thought he did some nice things. He's not going to flash like the other guys, but he's solid. Oh, wide receiver Jacob Harris. Of the back end of the roster receivers, he's my favorite. He has something to him. There's athleticism there. He makes some like really fantastic catches. I would keep him around the practice squad.
A few wild plays along the way. Yeah, I think he'll be around on the practice squad.
Your guy, Ben Van Sumeren. Tight end 3?
Tight end 2, maybe. Good special teamer.
He's a linebacker, by the way.
He is a linebacker. Plays with a little edge that shows up on special teams. Physical guy. Yeah, I think he'll be on the roster. I don't think it's a slam dunk, but I think he will.
I think I'm with you there. John Ross.
Yeah, just never really happened for him.
He had one day where it was actually the Patriots practice, and then he got hurt in the Patriots game.
Yeah, he's still out with that concussion. Last we heard in the protocol. I had him on my 53 begrudgingly until they signed Dotson.
Did you really?
I just had him as a placeholder, kind of thinking that they're gonna add somebody else. So, yeah, I had him ahead of Paris Campbell, but
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was based on before he. I mean, they've both been hurt. I don't think either one's gonna be on the team. So, yeah.
Will Grier
played better than I expected in that game the other night. That's all I got on him.
Fred Johnson.
I think he's pretty good. Pretty good backup tackle.
Yeah, it's always tricky with the Eagles' backup tackles because when they get in the game, they typically don't do anything differently, and that's really unfair to the backup tackles because they don't get any help. Like, they're still used to living in this world where you can just have your tackles on their own on an island, and then you end up with Jack Driscoll out there, and all of a sudden it looks a little different. So, I think that's, Fred Johnson is not Lane Johnson, and we saw that the one practice where Lane didn't participate, but I think he's fine.
I agree.
So it looked like you said something, but I didn't hear any noise, and then I was confused.
I'm confused as well.
Isaiah Rodgers.
Like what I saw, I think it's really remarkable what he did after sitting out that year. And he found a way to stay engaged, not being with the team, being back home, working out on his own with some friends. But from day one that he was in uniform, he's looked like he belongs, and he's been really good.
I agree. Paris Campbell.
Just never happened. Just never happened for him. I really thought he'd be that wide receiver 3, and he just never made plays.
Yeah, early in camp, he made a few like day one, and then he got hurt a little bit later, and Yeah, he's the guy who gets hurt most by the trade for Dawson. He might have been on the roster by default. I don't think that's the case anymore.
Yeah. You deserve a car that thrills you, a car that puts goosebumps on your goosebumps. At Nissan, we got everything from turbocharged SUVs to 100% electric vehicles that'll make your heart beat faster. Experience the thrill for yourself and shop your local Nissan store at nissanusa.com today.
Celebrity cook Steve Martorano brings his Italian-American cooking back home to Philly. Enjoy Martorano's Prime at Rivers Casino and Steve's famous meatballs with Sunday gravy, prime steaks, and more. Make reservations at Martorano's Prime on Open Table. All right, Rube, I have a choose your own adventure here. We have more names left in the bowl. We have like 10 minutes left. We can go with the rest of the names in the bowl, or we can answer questions.
I think we go speed dial through the names.
Through the bowl. All right.
Let's
do it. Probably a lot that we got to go quick.
Let's go quick.
Josh Sweat.
Didn't see a lot from him, but I'm not really that concerned about it. Playing some great tackles.
Yeah, his best day came against Fred Johnson, which is probably more in line with the level of tackle he's going to see versus Lane Johnson throughout the year, or somewhere in between.
Closer to Fred, but yeah.
Oh, Bryce Huff.
I'd say the same thing about Huff.
Thought he showed something in that second preseason game. I think it was a good thing they played him in that. He was able to show some toughness against the run. That's really the question with him.
Yeah.
Jalix Hunt, read Surviving Camp number 4, the final. It's up on NBC Sports Philadelphia.com right now.
And we just used up all our allotment of time on Jalix Hunt. But yeah, I liked what I saw. 3 straight edge rushers to open up this segment.
Let me shuffle this up a little bit.
Yeah.
The sanctity of this exercise is in question now. Dallas Goedert.
Like the Patrick Ewing NBA lottery when like it was. You ever watch that?
Yeah.
Who was the commercial there? Was it David Stern?
Commercial?
He just like reaches right in and like he's like you could because they wanted the Knicks to be a powerhouse because they wanted the New York market, and he knew exactly where the Patrick Ewing little thing was in that tub. Anyway,
Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, I thought he had a good camp. It's a big year for him. You just keep waiting for him to have that really, really big year. He hasn't quite had it. He's been good.
Popped up with an oblique injury late in camp. So
yeah, a little concern there.
Something to keep an eye on there.
Yeah.
Zach Bond.
He was okay. He wasn't as good as Nakobe.
I agree. Doesn't look out of place as an off-ball linebacker. We all kind of looked weird or looked strangely at Vic when he said that, and then it looked all right.
Yeah.
Landon Dickerson.
He's fine. A really good player.
Yeah, you don't think about him, which is a great sign for a left guard. CJ Gardner-Johnson.
Fun to watch.
What a treat it's been to watch him for a full training camp.
Yeah, which we didn't have 2 years ago. He wasn't here yet. So
my advice to anyone who ever gets to go to an Eagles training camp, like I know that some like season ticket holders and select people get to go. If you ever get to go, just watch number 8.
He's a trip.
He's a trip. And he's always like teetering on the edge of something crazy, honestly. Dylan McMahon, the rookie center.
I was impressed by him. I like what I saw.
I did too. I think they'd be fine with him as a backup center. I know he hasn't taken many second-team center reps. I think he's fine.
I agree.
Tristan McCollum, the safety.
I thought he had a nice camp. I think he had a good summer. It's a position where there's a lot of question marks. I think he's probably their third best safety.
You have to keep him or James Bradbury. Who you keeping?
You're keeping McCollum.
Yep, I agree. Ooh, another good bubble guy, Thomas Booker, the 4th.
Booker came on late. I'm not sure he did enough, but he might have. He might have done enough. He
had a really good second preseason game. He's followed that up with some really nice practices. He's been around for a year. He was with the practice squad last year. I like a Thomas Booker. Avonte Maddox.
Good to see him healthy. Had a nice, healthy camp. Versatile. Made some plays. I like what I saw from him playing.
It's a good thing he's versatile because if he was a slot corner only, I don't think he makes a team.
Yeah, you're right. His versatility is the thing that's going to keep him on the roster.
Mm-hmm. Darian Kennard.
I'm not sure what they think of him. he sure got a lot of reps. He played every snap in that first preseason game, 83 of them.
At right tackle, but he also plays guard.
He plays guard. He plays tackle. There could be a roster spot for him, but I don't have him on my 53.
Yeah, me neither. I think he was in the mix for a while, but kind of unlikely.
Yeah.
Sean Stevens.
I thought I might see a little more from him. Undrafted rookie corner, small school guy. Made a couple plays. I would think they might want to keep him around on the practice squad, young guy.
I don't know. They're going to have to cut good corners, and if they don't get signed elsewhere, they're going to want to keep those guys around.
Yeah.
Good one. Axman Jr.
A lot of corners. Came back to earth a little bit, but got off to a great start, and you can see there's something there. I like the way he plays. Smart, instinctive. He's going to be something. He's going to be a player.
Instinctive is the word for him. Man, he knows where to be.
Yeah.
Zach McPherson. I'll start him. Cornerback. Good to see him back on the field after the Achilles tear. I don't think there's a roster spot for him, but he's a good player, good special teams player. I think he's an NFL player to me.
Yeah, if he makes the team, it'll be as a special teamer. They just have so many cornerbacks. It's going to be tough. If it comes down to Job or McPherson,
it's Job.
It's probably Job.
Yeah. Devin White.
A little bit of a disappointment. Didn't see a lot of mess ups, but didn't see a lot of splash plays. Not exactly sure where he is. So he'll be starting, I guess. I'm not really sure what to make him.
Yeah, a little bit by default, I think.
Yeah.
I still think he's in the starting lineup. Safety, Caden Stearns.
Just got here, limping around, not healthy. Not sure. I'm not sure what's going to happen with him because he doesn't look like he's close to being able to play.
Probably IR. Keep him around.
I guess.
Keely Ringo.
I really like Keely Ringo. I think he's, like you've said him, he's very handsy. And I think over the last 2 weeks, it caught up to him a little bit. You saw it show up. I thought he had a great first few weeks. And I thought he was really making a run at competing for a possible starting spot. But Rogers is just more consistent. But Keely Ringo is going to be a good player for a long time.
Julian Aquara.
I don't have a whole lot on him.
He didn't flash as much as I expected. I thought Terrell Lewis was better of those two veteran edges they added.
Yeah.
Kendall Milton.
I like a little Kendall Milton. He got me a bold prediction in that Patriots game, scoring a touchdown. I would think practice squad guy, Georgia running back, rookie.
Run tie. Milton Williams.
Solid. Just
really good summer, I thought.
Another solid camp from him.
Josh Jobe.
Yeah, we just mentioned him. Very good special teamer. Not a great corner, but special teams will probably keep him on the roster.
Speaking of handsy, even Vic Fangio mentioned he's got to cut that down.
Yeah.
Rick Lovato, he's the long snapper. We'll move on.
Well, I have a lot to say about him.
Trevor Keegan.
He did some good things.
Kind of nasty streak.
He does a little bit.
Only left guard, though.
Yeah, I liked what I saw from him. Sometimes those young late-round offensive linemen, they just kind of come and go. But, yeah, he showed up a little bit.
I'm going to get a tear. This is the last time I'll ever pull this guy's name out of a Tupperware bowl. Brandon Graham.
Yeah, fun to have around.
Yeah, and, looks fine.
He does.
Yeah, I mean, he still looks like he can help.
Stays in great shape.
Matt Sharping.
Max Sharping, another one of those veteran interior lineman guys. Didn't really show a ton.
Played some tackle, too. Didn't look great at tackle. Johnny Wilson.
Good start. Came back to earth a little. He's in protocol. I got him on my roster. I think he's got a lot of potential.
I think he earned the roster spot.
Yeah.
Gottlieb Ayedze.
Next.
Maryland tackle, second stint with the team. Saquon Barkley.
Excited to see him in the real thing. And
I don't know if he was as explosive as you wanted in training camp, but I don't know if it matters.
Yeah, and yeah. Again, I don't think at this point in his career he's a great runner, and we'll see behind this O-line. Maybe he averages 5 yards a carry, but I think he'll really help. I think he's going to have a big year as a receiver. I like what I saw from him coming out of the backfield.
Oh, I think he'll be a good runner still.
I mean, I think he'll be a high volume runner. I just don't see him as that like 4.8, 5.2 type guy.
Okay.
He'll just be kind of a grind it out, 4 yards of the cloud of dust. We'll see.
Curious to see if they use him more at the goal line as opposed to all the Jalen Hurts runs.
Yeah.
Devontae Smith.
He had an incredible summer. Just incredible.
I had nothing to add there. He was uncoverable. Lou Nichols. Big Lou guys here.
Yeah, you already mentioned Lou, so we'll move on. But yeah.
I think he started better than he finished.
Yeah.
Grant Calcaterra?
He was okay.
He's improved as a blocker.
He's improved as a blocker. Didn't really pop as a receiver.
But clearly took a hold of that tight end 2 job pretty early.
Yeah. Yeah, day one.
Braden Mann?
He's good. Really good. Lucky
Think
to
he
have
kicks off at all?
I don't think so.
Okay. Mekhi Becton.
Not sure exactly what to expect from him. They love him. Stout loves him as a guard. I need to see that he's got the fitness to be able to stay low late in games and be a factor. That's the big question.
Yeah, he's the only question mark for me on the starting offensive.
Yeah.
Reed Blankenship.
I thought he had a pretty good training camp.
It was solid, unspectacular, not like a ton of big splash plays. Had a few great pass breakups here and there.
Plays faster than he is because he's going to be in the right place.
Nolan Smith.
He's a guy I just don't know what to expect from. Saw some good things. He's definitely stronger. He's got to do it in games. I thought he had okay preseason.
Speaking of okay, Albert Okwuegbunam.
Didn't see a whole lot from Alberto.
Me neither, and he got hurt. He was someone who had such a good preseason game last year. That's why the Eagles traded for him, and then he had a chance to win a roster spot and never really did anything.
No.
And we finish it off with Aneem Dankwa.
And yeah, I've got nothing on Aneem Dankwa.
They've been playing the guard a little bit.
Yeah.
It hasn't gone well. See if we will actually play in this game. That's it. The bowl's empty. We did it. We got through everyone on the roster.
Except Jahan Dotson.
There's a whole half-hour podcast on him.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. That was a lot. If you enjoyed the Eagle Eye podcast, please do us a favor, rate and subscribe wherever you get your pods. If you're watching on YouTube, please click the like button, subscribe there as well. Rube, any final words?
Yeah, we're actually going to do this again. We're going to fill the Tupperware again tomorrow and do the same 90 guys.
I got to go clean this. I'm going to have a salad today. All right, that's it for Eagle Eye, presented by Nissan. For Reuben Frank, I'm Dave Zangaro. We'll talk to you soon.